in order to kind of have your decentralized server have like a portal to it, right? To like the wider internet though, we need what every business needs, right? We need a website. So tell me kind of what the flow is like. Obviously there'll be some kind of like sales front end, some offer, some kind of information offer, some like free trial offer, right? And that'll drive to a landing page. And what happens then? Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of House It Done. I'm Gabe Tannenhouse. I'm the founder of House Media Systems, and this is my 100-day video series. And I'm very pleased to introduce everyone to my first guest. This is my very dear friend, John Ellis. John and I are working on a few different technology projects together. John's an engineer based in the Cleveland area, and we are collaborating on some technology opportunities. One is a RAID system. Say hi, John.
Hello.
One is a RAID system that has an AI attached to it to monitor your media network. And then John is in the process of designing a home assistant based AI that can manage all your media, control your house needs, basically just give you a kind of a genius level house automation in a configuration that's never been done before. Maybe you could speak to that a little better than I could, John.
Yeah. Using Olama and Docker and the network with Home Assistant, which is an open source automation, home automation, well, it's an anything automation application, and you could say, "Hey Watson, light me a path from my living room to the bedroom and dim the bathroom light as you walk to your bedroom, your lighted path."
So basically anything you have tied into your home automation becomes like a conversational function of your interaction with the Olama model that you're running on Home Assistant.
Pretty much.
Genius stuff.
Big controllers, light controllers, HVAC.
Right. We're talking about, your movie collection, whatever, anything you want to watch entertainment wise.
Home NAS, private cloud.
Your Plex server.
Plex server can totally run on this technology, and Olama can control it by your voice as you don't sit in front of a computer.
And now, John, you've had a very interesting idea on how to kind of host your sales effort, your lead gen configuration by putting it on a Mastodon server.
Yeah, so X or Twitter or whatever it is, it's you see the news, I don't know, you go into it.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to talk to my customers through Mastodon chat services. It's like the self-hosted Twitter. You put a picture on it and it goes to your server, which could be in your closet instead of some server on wherever it is, on Facebook.
And so Mastodon does what? It kind of gives you like
Mastodon is like,
gives you like a white label social media function, right?
It's a decentralized social network. So anyone can run their own Mastodon server, and it talks via the OpenPub, I think it is. It's a publication chat. A publication, I don't know.
So this is like a way to communicate between Mastodon servers?
Absolutely. So like when your Mastodon server is up, I can post to any of the people that sign up to my Mastodon server, but it can also be seen on anybody else's Mastodon server. It can be locked down to be completely private. So like if you wanted to have your own, like if you were a family, had your house and, wife, 2 kids, you could all have.
I have a wife and 2 kids.
I have a wife and 3 dogs.
I think 3 dogs averages out to about 2 kids.
Yeah, and then the cat.
Yeah. It's like 2 kids.
The cat runs them all. But yeah, so like you could have your own social network on your own server and still be communicating with everybody on the Mastodon global network, which means that you can see what you want to see, not what you don't. So,
and you can keep all your data private, even from the AI. Like the AI knows kind of what it's running, but it doesn't have visibility into like any private information.
correct. So when we're talking about the Llama AI integration with Home Assistant, the only data it is looking at is the Home Assistant data. So yes, your light sensors, your motion sensors, your HVAC, your whatever, your lights,
Your Plex server,
garage door over,
right?
Server, whatever. The AI is only talking to Home Assistant, which is only sending commands to the various devices around your house. So that the AI is limited to just being the voice. So you don't have to type or sit in front of a computer and figure out how to program.
Right. It's an interface, but it's totally like encrypted. It's like blind on its side.
Correct.
I love that. I love the privacy angle.
Absolutely. Like,
and so
I'm a privacy nerd.
I feel like a lot of engineers and software devs tend to be privacy enthusiasts because I think they've seen. Yeah, you've kind of seen like what you have access to as someone who kind of goes under the hood on a lot of technologies, and you'll kind of understand the idea that with great power comes great responsibility, which is something I've actually seen in the source code of different technologies here and there.
100%. 100%.
So in order to kind of have your decentralized server have like a portal to it, right, to like the wider internet, though, we need what every business needs, right? We need a website.
Right.
So tell me kind of what the flow is like. Obviously there'll be some kind of like sales front end, some offer, some kind of information offer, some like free trial offer, right? And that'll drive to a landing page. And what happens then?
So the underlying infrastructure.
I've got like 3 pictures of you. I don't know where to look. I guess I'll look into the camera.
So a website needs a web server. Probably use Nginx. You can get a Nginx Docker container from Docker Hub.
Talk to us about Docker a little bit, because I barely have a grasp on this myself.
All right, so Docker is you can kind of think of it like a VM, like a virtual machine. But it's a lot smaller and a lot more lightweight. So instead of a virtual machine where I boot up a complete OS, install full applications on top of that OS, I'm consuming a ton of resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
Windows needs what, 32 gigs of hard drive minimum.
Right.
So, and then anything you want on top of that. Sure, it's totally doable that way, but you end up consuming a lot of hard drive space a lot of CPU.
Yeah, it's a lot of overhead in your machine. Yeah.
Super flexible because you can, each VM is only doing whatever it wants. So,
And these kind of siloed work streams also kind of tie into the whole encryption, data blind aspect of this technology as well. If I'm understanding it.
yep. So it's all virtualization technology, and VMs have their time and place. But for a website, it's kind of resource intensive and expensive, right? So what Docker is it's a containerization technology, and instead of booting up the entire OS to install your application, you only bring up what you need. So when it's in that container, it's like a full VM, but it only has the tools that you need. So for my Mastodon server that I did, I'm using the official Mastodon Docker container, but I am actually tweaking it to install the tools that I need so that when I have to go and troubleshoot it, it makes it easier for me. So I'm in, my network tools, my process analyzers, like the CPU gauges and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. That it then runs in its own little container, which talks to other Docker containers, such as the reverse proxy, which I'm using Trafic. I actually was looking at a post on my phone from like XDA or something. It was like, oh, what's the best reverse proxy to use? Is, you got to poke holes to get to the internet.
Right. And that gets into the whole like tunneling aspect of virtualization, which is something that, you can leverage
So
potentially on media networks.
And with Docker, you bring up a container, that container is only talking to that container itself. Yes, you can have pies into the host for like storage, persistent storage, and network ports, whatever.
But again, this is all completely blind to like the thinking part of the container.
Right. It only sees what's inside the container. Now, with Docker, you can also have containers talk to each other. So for Mastodon, I'm running 7 containers. 3 of them are, so Mastodon, the database, which is where everything is stored. Reverse proxy, which I'm running Trafic. And then the Mastodon customized Docker app or container. Sidekick, which is used for the federation processes in Mastodon, because decentralized server, the federation east of that is what is talking to the other Mastodon servers. And
It has to tie into the universal being that is every Mastodon server.
like plugging it into the matrix.
Gotcha.
And what's funny is that was like the hardest part for me to like figure out how to get up and running. And when it was broken, I had a fully functioning Mastodon server, but the only person that could see anything was me, and you couldn't log into it. Like you could navigate in your browser to mastodon.jealousindustries.com and see whatever I was posting, but you couldn't like comment, and that was it.
I feel like there's like a metaphor there for like social media in general. How it kind of seems like it's connecting us, but it's really just isolating us, isn't it?
It really is. And well, I mean, just to tie it back to the whole Home Assistant project I'm working on, like that's a way that you can isolate it. So, when you don't want to talk to anybody else, You just pull the federation processes and
It's like back when
you're by yourself.
Back before like I could afford Adobe software, I would steal it, and I would only use it on a computer that like wasn't connected to the internet, so that it wouldn't like
Strip the ORM,
me out.
DRN.
Yeah, exactly.
Docker rules.
Yeah. So tie this all back to the website. Give us the kind of short version of like the website functionality and how it would tie into the Mastodon instance.
So I think I can just piggyback. Okay, so the last piece of that is getting from the server in my POSIT to the outer internet, right? I could do that one of two ways. I can open up ports on my firewall, which is just a router. I don't necessarily want to do that because I am scared of security.
Ports give you vulnerability when you start opening them up.
Ports, things can happen.
Right.
And I'm a nervous Nelly.
Get some bathwater in with your babies.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my identity stolen like so many times, not even funny. My social security number is out on the fucking web. Like I've tried to buy houses with my shit. So I'm security nutso. Anyway, back to poking holes in the firewall.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So Cloudflare has which is where my domain is hosted through, has a service called Cloudflared, and it's a TLS tunnel that through no hole in the firewall connects my server to Cloudflare and the wider internet solely across that tunnel. So all the traffic from the 6 containers running my Mastodon server, including the database, reverse proxy, the federation containers, and the web server and the actual Mastodon server, are running through this Cloudflare tunnel.
Okay.
I think I can, with another Docker container, and because I'm running Docker in swarm mode, I'm running all of this in a stack. I think I can just stack on a stack to have another website, all running through that Cloudflare tunnel. Same reverse proxy container, and like lightweight. It's running on a Zima board right now. Well, not right now because something happened to it, but
Your Zima brick.
my Zima brick. Yeah.
I have a Zima board. Hang on. Just to give some context on what a Zima board is. So Zima board is kind of like a Raspberry Pi on steroids, if I'm not getting that too far at.
If like a Raspberry Pi is a PC, the Zima board is a single board server.
Yeah, and again, we're getting into this whole like, singularization of technology, right? Like it's a server that just does one single thing.
Right. And it's powerful. Well, it runs on x86 architecture, so like you can put a full version of Ubuntu, Red Hat, CentOS, whatever.
And these are all operating systems.
Or Linux, Linux-based Linux operating systems. It's x86 though, so you could also put Windows on it if you wanted.
Okay.
It's got did you get the 832?
I don't remember.
So it's like 8 cores and 32 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, something like that is pretty nice.
It's baller. I mean, two Ethernet ports and a PCIe 4-channel, I think, on it.
Yeah, I got this, and I think I got like a cable that gives me an extra PCIe, and yeah, the two network ports. Got a mini HDMI there, or what is that? DisplayPort.
DisplayPort. Thing's sweet.
Yeah.
But by default, that's running Casa OS, which is a Debian-based Linux distribution that has Docker built into it. So, like, you just plug it into your network, connect to whatever the IP, and whatever the port is, I forget. Mine's running just straight
Yeah.
up YouTube.
Yeah, so I got to put a head on this thing before I can like really figure it out.
Oh, no, you don't.
No, I do. I think you probably don't.
Nah, but you just plug it into your router, and then you look up the IP and whatever the port is. I think it might be 3000.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta kind of regroup on this thing. It's probably been a month or so since I've taken a whack at it. It was not successful last time around.
But it's great. You can run all sorts of stuff in a Docker container. You can run a full-on OS in a Docker container.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be like you can like zoom in or out like as far as you want with these different technologies. All right, so give us one last thought on like, you know, your kind of vision for like a technology facilitation business.
Yeah, so I think
No pressure.
yeah. Here you go. I think people are starting to need security in their phones and with their data, and some of the things I can offer would be like private clouds that you have the hard drives. When you're posting to Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, whatever, so that data, that picture of your kid, that picture of your puppy on the beach,
Oh God,
of
terrifying.
That information is in someone else's hands.
Right.
And I mean, that scares the crap out of me and I don't have kids.
Yeah. No, I mean it's it's so much fun thinking about like you take a cute picture of your kids and post it, whatever. But then it's like, God, they put all this location data on it, and like you say like, oh, I'm gonna strip all that data out, but you never do.
You never do. It's your phone is just like, oh, here's the quick link to post it to Facebook.
Yeah, like my GPS coordinates. Like, please come steal my family.
Here's how fast I'm moving on from GPS coordinate A to B. What was I running? Was I driving? Yeah, running, but skateboarding. Or was I wearing a camo hoodie? Probably everybody's wearing.
Probably, yeah.
So and so on the security front, having your own, private cloud. I have been doing home automation for 15 years. Ground sound.
Yeah, that's your background, right? It was like home AV stuff.
Yep, I started in New York City doing footing rich people's stereos together. But I can go, as simple as your TV with a DVD player, all the way to distributed cable boxes, network Wi-Fi, and 3G, whatever, anything you want, combined with the security of home networking and NAS, private cloud, and these services that'll make life be good for you.
We love that. We love when life is good for us. We love technology. John, thank you so much for being on. This was very enlightening. I'm very proud of myself. I think I understood a full like 75% of that.
It's all good.
But as these projects grow and develop, we'll definitely keep you posted on this channel. So keep your eye out for that. And thanks for joining us for another edition of Haus It Done. And we'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Peace.